What's up, nerds, and welcome to Flipping the Nerd's Movie of the Week. My name is Steve, and I am back from vacation, baby. And on that vacation, I filmed a lot of cool stuff that I can't wait to show on this very show. However, it's only going to air in January because I really want this to be special. I want it to be something big for our channel. So stay tuned. It's going to be awesome, I promise. In the meantime, I do have a lot of films I want to talk about. But this week we're going to really do something special. Something I've been wanting to talk to since I started this show. I am a huge fan of Family Guy. I mean, ever since they aired the original show in the first 3 seasons, I believe it was, I have been hooked, line, and sinker. I knew every line of these 3 seasons. When it went off the air, I was so bummed out, but at least I got to buy them on DVD. Then, finally, they came back to the air in some kind of miracle, and I got to see some Family Guy for years to come, and still to this day. In fact, I even got to see Family Guy live. I saw the whole crew and cast film an episode live, which was a really cool experience, and something I'll never forget. Seth MacFarlane is a genius. The guy can go from voice to voice just like this, and I got to see him do a scene with him as Peter, Brian, and Stewie in the same scene, and he was doing it flawlessly. The guy is awesome. Now, I can't really review the show itself because this is movie of the week. Now, I will have TV show of the month or a quarter. I'm still thinking about it, but unfortunately, Family Guy does not qualify for movie of the week. So how is it they're going to have Family Guy on movie of the week? I mean, Beavis and Butthead had a movie, and it was awesome. South Park had a movie, and it was awesome. The Simpsons had a movie, and it was awesome. But come on, Family Guy, why don't you release a movie? Well, guess what? They did. And a lot of people don't even know about it. And that's why I want to review the movie. Family Guy presents Stewie Griffin, The Untold Story. Now, before I get into the movie of the week this week, I want to make sure that you know how excited I am about this. So I'm going to animate it, I'm going to do all sorts of crazy things, and I have all these cool props that I'm not going to show you because they're in my closet. I can't go into my closet because, yeah, moving on. So for those of you who don't know what Family Guy is, you better remove yourself from the rock you're under and actually go out to the real world because Family Guy is huge. But just in case you don't know it very well, basically it's a complete ripoff of The Simpsons except it's funnier and really kind of crosses the line a little bit more, or at least pushes the line forward as the episodes and the seasons progress. This movie is no exception. They really push that line. I mean, there are some things in this movie ranging from, I don't even want to say it. Let's just say you have to watch it because they do things that you would not believe would pass on a cartoon anywhere. What I like about Family Guy, though, is not so much just the family themselves, but the crazy cast of characters in this world. I mean, you have Adam West as the mayor, which is hilarious. You have greased up deaf guy. You have God. You have the Pope. You have Death, and his dog, of course. I mean, you have Mort Goldman. You have Upside Down Face, and of course, you have. How did that get in my collection? You have other characters too. But the movie itself really doesn't shy away. It really wants to show some of those characters. They have their appearances from the Kool-Aid Man. They have an appearance from Jesus. It's really, really crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, what is it actually a movie? Yes, it is because it came out as a movie on DVD. However, it didn't technically have a theatrical release, and from what I understand, it's actually 3 episodes mashed together that kind of fits into one of those Stewie and Brian Road to episodes. You know, they do the Road to Europe and Road to Rhode Island and Road to Other Dimensions, things like that. So that's really the way that the movie is composed. You really can feel the 3 acts as being kind of 3 separate episodes, but the show is kind of like that too. I always feel that the first act has nothing to do with anything, it's just completely crazy jokes. Then the second act kind of gets into a story, it's still pretty funny, but you can see that it's actually going somewhere. And then the third act is a resolution to that story, and it's usually not as strong or as funny as the first 2 acts. This movie is no exception. It is absolutely balls to the walls hilarious for the first act, an okay adventure for the second act, and kind of gets dull by the end of it. It's something I wish they could fix if they ever do a feature movie that will be released in theaters, but it works for this movie. And like they said, there's a lot of self-parodies and things like that. So if you ever do find this movie, they actually say in the movie itself that you'll probably find it at some gas station for $3. So I really envy you to look for it. So I'm going to talk about the story a little bit and all that stuff, but I got a little problem. Quagmire got into my bobbleheads again, so I'll be right back.
Giggity giggity. All right.
Quagmire. Okay, I'm going to get into the movie a little bit. Tell you what I like about it and what I don't like about it. The movie is really about Stewie, who's trying to figure out if Peter is really his father. Now, I can see why he wonders about that. I mean, Stewie is smart, he's British, and he looks absolutely nothing like Peter. In fact, he's nothing like Peter. He's the total opposite of Peter. So of course he would wonder whether or not Peter is actually his real father. He sees a guy, I think it's on television, that resembles Stewie, that kind of talks like Stewie, and comes to the conclusion that that guy is probably Stewie's real father. So they go through this whole adventure to try to figure out who Stewie's real father is. Now, what works about this movie is it really sticks to the Family Guy way of doing things. There are a lot of cutaways. In fact, I read somewhere that there's something like a cutaway every minute and 16 seconds, which is crazy. A lot of people say that Family Guy kind of relies on those cutaways, but I think that's what makes it different from all the other cartoons out there, like The Simpsons and South Park and, King of the Hill and all that kind of stuff. It's really the cutaways that make this special and different from all the other ones. If you want to see Family Guy without cutaways, just watch American Dad. And it's actually a really funny show, so I would recommend to watch that show as well. And the cutaways are, like in the show, they're either hit or miss. And they're usually hit or miss on whether or not you get the joke. There's a lot of references from the 80s or the 70s that maybe people like me who are young and fresh, not so much anymore, won't get, because they're shows that are before my time. But they're also kind of more modern jokes and things that reference things in the present. And those are more often than not hits. But when you really do get the joke, it is really, really funny. And those are the things I really like about Family Guy. Even if I get 1 joke out of 4, which is usually not the case, I usually get most of them. But even if you did, just 1 out of 4, when you get that 1 joke, it's really, really funny. The writers of this movie really make a point to really go all out there. Like I said before, they really push the envelope with things. There are some things that made me have an uncomfortable laugh. I mean, they touch on things like pedophilia and bestiality and incest and all sorts of weird stuff that really only Family Guy would try to cross. And, it's done in a way that's kind of, it's not dirty. It's kind of suggested, but it's still pretty scary. So, I mean, come on. They have Herbert the pervert as a character, and they have, Brian's always going after Lois, and it's just, it really pushes the line. Even to the point where it makes me uncomfortable. But that's what kind of makes it funny at the same time, and what makes it different. So, back to the movie. I mean, they try to fit in a lot of characters into this movie so that they all have an appearance. And it's also hit and miss in that way. There are some characters that are brought in to great effect, And some characters you feel that they brought in just to have that character in. And that doesn't work as well. So unfortunately, there are some things that they could have done better in this movie. They could have contained it a little bit better. It's really all over the place. It takes a long time for you to understand what this movie is truly about. I think it takes like 40 minutes before you actually understand where the story is going. Before that, it's literally just jokes and fun. Now, that's a good thing in one way, but as a movie, it doesn't work as well. Again, I loved it. It was an awesome movie. I don't want to get too much into it because I do really want you to seek this movie out. It is funny in a lot of ways. If you like Family Guy, you owe it to yourself. And like I said, it's probably cheap somewhere on eBay or in a gas station somewhere in, the New Mexico desert. Who knows? I'm sure you can find this movie somewhere, and I highly recommend it. Next week, we're going to start our Halloween month and a little bit beyond, because I was supposed to start in October. I kind of got messed up with my dates, so I'm going to do Halloween shows for about the next 4 or 5 episodes. Then we're going to go into a little transition and go into Christmas. So there's a lot to look forward to on Movie of the Week. And next week, we're going to do something really special. I love Halloween. It's going to be dark. It's going to be crazy. And it's going to be fun. So see you next week. See you on the flip side.